Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to paint the Space Marines from the Warhammer fan animation Astartes. If you guys have seen this animation, then you know that these guys are amazing, and their color scheme is totally awesome, but the problem is, I noticed there weren't any videos or tutorials on how to paint it. So I'm going to make the job for those of you who want to paint these guys just a little easier. The first paint you're going to need is Mechanicus Standard Gray. This is going to be the base coat and going to be the solid color for the rest of the miniature. The rest of the paints will be building upon this. So you're going to be applying this with a large base brush, and you're going to be applying it in several thin coats, which will allow you to retain the detail instead of slopping it up, which you would have done if you had just applied it in big sloppy coats, which you might do as a beginner, but if you're in the intermediate levels, then you definitely should have gone out of that habit. Make sure you apply it to all the miniature, including the bolsters, that you're as accurate to the fan animation as possible. As you can see, the gray when applied in thin coats, really keeps the details and looks very nice. However, we're going to have to keep applying paints if we really want to stay true. We're not just going to leave it there. So we're going to use Retributor Gold to make the skull gold, and also the centerpiece and the hilt of the knife. So this is a paint that you should be very careful with, and I'm using my small layer brush with it, so that way I'm not spilling it and messing up the gray. Then apply it to the chest piece very carefully and very neatly. After you've applied it to the rest of the miniature, you should generally make sure and go back so you haven't spilled it, and then clean that up with Mechanicus Standard Gray. And once you've cleaned other stuff up, you can go back again with Retributor Gold and just make sure that the gold is solid, because this way it will gleam better. As you can see now, though, that the gold looks really nice and the miniature is really starting to come to shape. However, there's just a few more colors, and that gold needs some more richness and detail. So for that, we're going to use a Grax Earth Shade, or if you like, Reichland Flesh, but I prefer a Grax Earth Shade. So just apply the shade to all the gold bits. This will make the detail pop out, but will also take about an hour to dry, so bear that in mind. So just apply this very carefully and let the detail sink in, but don't spill it. Now use Lead Belcher. This is going to be very important to the miniature, as this goes over most of this guy, in fact. Probably the largest color besides the gold. You're going to be applying this to the bulbs of the shoulder pad. As you can see, if you skip earlier to the beginning of this video, that is what the actual miniature looks like. So apply the Lead Belcher to the bulbs of the shoulder pad, just very neatly. Make sure you don't spill on the shoulder pads, which can happen. After you apply it to that shoulder pad, you're going to start to apply it to the bolter. After you've applied it to the bolter, you're just going to move on to any other spots that need the Lead Belcher. For instance, the blade of the knife and also the hilt, right? And you can also feel free to apply it to the joints if you like, but I prefer to use Abaddon Black for that. So just apply the Lead Belcher to all those silver bits that need it, and also you're going to be applying it to the face. It's going to be on the cheek plate and also on one of the tubes that's on his face, as you can see. So just apply this very carefully, make sure you don't mess it up. And next coat you're going to be using is Abaddon Black. Now this is a very important paint. I would recommend you use your Artificer layer brush for this, so that way you can get all those small spots easily enough. You're going to use this Abaddon Black to do the eyes and the joints of the armor. This is very tricky work, so you should only try this if you're very forward-thinking and very focused. Because otherwise, if you spill it, it'll go all over the place, mess up the eyes, and mess up just the general feng shui of the armor. When you apply it to the eyes, you want to be very careful, because Abaddon Black is a dark color, and if you spill it, it will show very visibly on the rest of the face. So make sure you apply it very, very carefully, gently, with soft strokes. And after you let it dry, it should look very nice. As you can see here, the Abaddon Black is all done now. After that, you're going to come back and repaint the gold with your Retributor armor. This way, the gold brightens up again, and you still get the detail back. After that, take some Mechanicus Standard Gray and put some dots of the Mechanicus Standard Gray into the sockets of the eye and the nose. This way, the skull looks more realistic. After that, you're going to use Korax White. Now, this part is extremely tricky for beginners. I do not recommend it unless they're absolutely positive they can carry this out. This is where you're going to freehand the chevrons, as you can see. Freehanding is extremely difficult and leads to a lot of frustration. You might have to paint this 5, 6, or 7 times. It might just drive you nuts, so I recommend that you should maybe take a break before trying it. Next, paint Mephiston Red. This is going to be on the bolter gun. This is a little bit of a peeve. You don't really have to do this, but if you want to, for more detail, take some Abaddon Black, put it on the back bit of the bolter, then take this Mephiston Red and draw it in a small red line, and you'll have a computerized look. And with that, your miniature is finished. So here he is, all in his Retributor glory, and ready to go out and do combat against enemies. Here are some of the miniatures I did earlier. I hope you guys liked this video. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks guys for hanging with me. Hope you appreciate this video. Bye!